Dan Book Nook Noggin here, and I just finished rereading the other day Dune House Harkonnen. This is book 2 and the prequel to Dune series. Now, I do have to mention, if you're not familiar with Dune, you definitely should read the original book series by Frank Herbert first before getting into the prequels or the other stories, which are the Butlerian Jihad trilogy. You should definitely read the original collection from Frank Herbert first before getting into the books that his son had created based on his father's notes. Now, when it comes to the prequel books, the House books, you're definitely going to want to read those in order, with House Atreides being book 1 and House Harkonnen being book 2. This one clocks in at 603 pages for the hardcover edition. Now, I do have to say, one of the things that one of the reasons I found these books written by Kevin J. Anderson and Brian Herbert to be fascinating and interesting is Frank Herbert's kind of more of a classic sci-fi kind of writer, and you can very much get that from reading his original series. And I feel like, because I know I've read Brian Herbert's writing, I read the book that he wrote with his dad, so I feel like I'm kind of familiar with his writing style, and I can definitely tell that Kevin J. Anderson kind of adds this kind of action-adventure kind of appeal to the book. He kind of writes kind of almost like Star Wars, so he makes Dune have this kind of action-adventure kind of Star Wars feel to it. And if you're into the Star Wars novels, then I think you're definitely going to enjoy the books written by Kevin J. Anderson and Brian Herbert. Now, this one, if you're wanting to know, like, exactly how Duncan Idaho had gotten trained, if you want to learn about the Swordmaster School on Gynez, this explains that in here. If you want to learn the origins of Gertie Halleck, then that's in here. Also, the origin of Fade Rotha, and also the origin of Beast Raban's name, how he became from Glossu to Beast, and how he chose that name. There's also the explanation, because this takes place approximately like 16 years before the events of Dune. So this explains the events that led up to Jessica becoming pregnant with Paul and why she chose to become pregnant with Paul. So that's explained in here, not until the very end. So yeah, I feel like this is a very good book, and like I said, this is a reread for me. So yeah, definitely. And I'm trying to remember if there was any other. Oh yeah, and then it has like the events of Pardo Kyne's death, and like how his son Liet becomes the planetologist. There's just so many different like background things going on with key players from the Dune book that makes this, it kind of fleshes out those characters, and it fleshes out their story, and it kind of gives you a little bit more of a reason for why things are the way they are in Dune. It kind of really helped to understand why things happen the way they do. Now, this is my second time reading this book. I haven't read this book since like it was first published. I think it first published like in the early 2000s, late 1990s. And I gave it a 4 out of 5 star back then, and I feel the same about it today. I definitely feel like this is still a 4 out of 5 star book for me. Of course, as always, I will have a link to Amazon down below if you want to check this out for yourselves. And don't forget, I'm hosting a Dune read-along next month in February. I have a Discord for that. You can go back and check out my last video, the time I upload this. It's in my past few videos where I mentioned what my plans were for the year 2023, or 2022, sorry. So that way you guys can, participate in that Dune read-along. But I do plan on rereading the past Dune books, because I'm so excited from the film just coming out. So yeah, join me in reading these books. We can talk about that on my my Discord. But yeah, thank you for watching. And of course, as always, I'm going to throw down my coffee link too, if you don't mind throwing in a buck or two. It greatly helps out my channel. Not receiving AdSense. You know the drill. And if you came here looking for book reviews and book recommendations, by all means, hit that subscribe button in there. Hit that notification bell while you're at it. Thank you for watching if you made it this far.